Hello guys, welcome back to another YouTube video with Tank River today. And what are we doing today there, Tank? Well, again, I'm glad you asked, guys, because today we're back on ARK Survival Ascended. That's right. And what we're doing in ARK Survival Ascended there, Tank? Well, again, I'm pretty much glad you have asked there, boys and girls, because today we're taking a look at another mod. Both if the description and the thumbnail does not give this mod away, it is a Primal Chaos. That's right. It's ARK Ascended's very own Primal Fear variation. Though I will have to say this much, and Kramers to the mod developers, it's a different mod developer than Primal Fear. The one that makes this one, his name is called Mr. Chaos. The one that makes Primal Fear is Mr. Picon. So, two different people making this mod and stuff like that. But, like always with these types of videos, as well as with, these mod reviews and other types of videos I do there, guys, I will leave a link down below to CurseForge so that way you guys can go ahead and take a look at this mod for yourself and stuff like that. But I would say it is something to pick up. It's an interesting mod. It's a huge dino overall mod, and they're still being adding new stuff every day. Well, not every day, but you get what I'm trying to say, right? Of course, normally what you expect new stuff every so often. We got tons of dinosaurs here that we're going to take a look at, some weapons and tools and stuff, and a few structures behind us right here. So we're going to start with the structures first, and then the dinosaurs themselves. So this is just what's in the mod at this moment. I believe there's going to be, more bosses and all that being added, of course. But we got the simple bed, which is basically the primal bed, of course. What you expect. It's just a bed. Then we got the Curse Forge, which has 24 slots. But this is going to be very, very, very important to have. Not only because it will smelt regular metal ingots faster, and I believe even gasoline faster. Congated gas balls, well, the gas balls, whatever you want to call them. Scrap metal, of course, you can grab that all in here. But not only that, it has its own mineral ingots. So let's say we want a toxic Rex, and due because it takes metal to make the Rex saddle, you don't need regular metal ingots. You are going to need this toxic metal ingot, which able to craft this, you need toxic blood and of course a metal ingot, and then you got the alpha, which needs alpha blood. You got elemental, which needs elemental blood. Then you have mythical metal, which you need mythical blood. And then you have demonic, which you need demonic blood. So each one is crafted. So far, this is the only amount of metal ingots that's in the mod. I'm not sure Mr. Chaos is planning on adding every tier with its own metal ingot. That would be nice to see, but we'll just have to wait and see. But that's the Curse Forge, which is very important right now. I don't know if he's also planning on adding in a industrial forge, like a chaos industrial forge, but it would be very nice to see. But oh well. Now we have the Primal Smithy, which has about 75 slots. Not a lot, but a good amount. So we got everything in here what you expect out of the mod. We got the armor, we got the alpha armor, we got the alpha keratin armor, and then the alpha flak armor set. Then we got metal armor set. Then we have legendary, which is Riot. And then we have mythical, which is flak armor. And the armor also gives you a buff as well. Let's see if this tells us what kind of buff. No, it doesn't tell us. So, but they do give you somewhat of a buff and stuff, so that's nice. And then we have, let's go to weapons. We got ammo. We got different types of ammo. Potent trank arrows, alpha trank arrows. We got alpha advanced rifle bullets. Elemental. Of course, we got the potent trank darts. We got alpha ones. We got elemental ones. Then we also have the spear bolts, which we have elemental. We have potent, toxic. Wait, is that no alpha? That's potent. And then we also have mythical, and we also have mythical darts. We also have potent metal arrows, and then we also have metal. Um, yeah, mythical, alpha, and now metal, and then we have also advanced rifle sniper bullets, which we have alpha, now metal, mythical, and of course potent. And then we also have demonic rocket launchers, which are normally used. I don't know if they changed it, but this is the way to use to knock out demonics. So yeah. No, that's not what I want. No, I don't want that. Then we have firearms, which is the demonic rocket launcher, and then we have tools. We got alpha tools. We got the pike, the pick, the hatchet, and the sickle. Then we have toxic. We have the pike. Uh, yeah, the pike, the pick, the hatchet, and the sickle. Again, and then we have Metro, which we get the pike, the pick, the hatchet, and the sickle. And then we have Mythical, which we have the pike, sickle, pike, pick, uh, hatchet, and sickle. Oh my gosh, I almost lost my words there. And then that is basically it right here. Then we have consumables. We have healing potions. We have, of course, the toxic ones, the alpha, and mythical, which you don't really have to craft the mythical ones because you can actually tame them. No, not tame them. Get them by killing mythical creatures and stuff. So, very nice there. Then we have narcotics. We got of course, the potent narcotics, the alpha, the elemental, and of course, mythical. Then we have stamina potions, which you're going to want to use. And then we have taming potions. We got a 50 times, a 100, and then a 250 times. And as you can see, each one costs a little bit more different stuff. Like the 50 times, you're going to need some rare flowers, some regular narcotics, and plus alpha blood and toxic blood. The 100 times, it looks like we're going to need alpha blood and magic blood, toxic blood, rare mushrooms, narcotics, and rare flowers. And of course, the 100, 250 is alpha blood, mythical blood, toxic blood, elemental blood, narcotics, rare mushrooms, and rare flowers, which is a combination. And then, of course, we got structures, which is basically, the spike walls. We got, of course, the toxic one, the alpha, and mythical. Then we have the different types of turrets. We have hydro, electric, alpha, and volcanic turrets. And that's basically it for structures. Then we have the different saddles in here as well. Um, rock golem saddle. I'm not sure why these two are originating dominant saddle. So we got toxic. We got different types of creatures in the toxic. I'm not going to go all over them, but as you can see, always way up to the Titan source. Um, Yeah, that's a lot of saddles. And even saddles for like things like a compy, which you can ride in this mod, a altar, what about where's the dodo? Here, dodo saddle. You just got tons of them. Then we have alpha saddles, which again, every creature could be ridden, always way up to the Titan source. And then we got, oops, my bad, staring across the saddle. We have elemental ones. We have the electric, which we got only a few electric creatures, but still hydro. Sorry for that, boys and girls. But as you can see, we got different hydro shadows, and then volcanic. Again, different volcanic shadows and stuff. That is the metal tier. Then advanced elementals, we get Fury, which we get different shadows here: RG, Doedicurus, and Wyvern, and Jerboa, and Griffcorn. Then we get Shadows, the Shadow tier, which is different creatures than this one. And then we get the next 3 tier, which is Fable, which is from Primal Fear, actually. I know in Primal Fear, I'm not sure if the Primal Chaos does it, but I know in Primal Fear, I could be wrong. Please miscorrect me if I am wrong. Primal Fear, Fable creatures are your go-to creatures um, to get good loot, like health potions and all of that other types of stuff. I know Mythicals will drop that stuff as well on this mod. I think Fables will, but yeah. Then we have Legendary, which is there's different creatures, even including a Indominus Rex, which is pretty freaking cool. And then we got Mythical, which, like I said, Mythical is pretty cool because they will drop like healing potions, narcotics, and tame helpers, and all of that other cool stuff. Then we have the next tier, which is angelic and demonic. We got different demonic creatures. We even have a demonic ferox, a reaper, which is pretty freaking cool, and we even have a demonic dodo. Awesome. Then we have angelic, which we got different creatures for the angelic. Not as many like the demonic tier, but we're probably going to see some awesome other creatures in here. So it looks like we do have a manticore. That's pretty cool. And then, of course, we got Chaos, which is a new tier for this mod. Of course, we got Rex, Indominus Rex, Wyverns, Dodo Rexes, and Griffins, and all that cool stuff. Then we have Spirit, which is, of course, we got, is that Giga? Yeah, Giga, Jerboa, Dodo Rex, and Dom, Wyvern, all those cool creatures and stuff like that. And that is it for the saddles. Not sure what these two are doing here, but okay. And then we have Kibble, which of course you start out with Toxic, and able to get the Toxic, you need the recipe that's shown here. And then we need Alpha next, and then once you get the Alpha Kibble, you can start taming the metals. And once you get to metro though, the other guys, you're going to have to start fighting the first tier of bosses. Or I think they are the first tier. I could be wrong. We're going to check on that. But these are the guardians. Once you kill the guardians, you will get these things called fruit. There's three types of fruit. There's volcanic, hydro, and electric. Once you get them, then you can go to advanced and metro and start taming these guys up, both the Fury and also Shadow Kibble. Both those two, and along with also the Omega, Legendary, Mythical, and Fable. Right now, I believe the Omega is still being developed because right now there's no really a saddle for the creatures except you can use the vanilla saddles for them. So I'm not sure if they're still being worked on and stuff, but yeah, there we go. Then we have next tier, which is demonic and angelic, which is basically like your demonic and celestial, which would be knowing the main thing for Primal Fear, but yeah. And then we have chaos and spirit creatures, which I believe able to get these. Um, you can't unlock them normally. You have to fight the spirit and chaos um guardians of the mod. So yeah, they're not straightforward. Then we have origins, which um helps you with the idea of them. So let's read this. So you would like to tame an origin? Well, in this mod, apparently they can be tamed. But able to get them, you got to fight them. So these beasts are known to be very resistant against tranks. A hard, you will need to damage them a lot in order to trank them. Cable can be found from Mr. Artefacto the original. So if you want to tame these guys, you're going to have to fight them and damage them. And then I guess there will be subject to be knocked out with torpor and able to get the cable. Instead of crafting it, you gotta find Artefacto the original, which will spawn in your map. It's like a mini boss. And then Nightmare is also tameable. And able to get Nightmare tier, Nightmare can be opportuned by evolving your origin into a nightmare, which there's plenty enough nightmare creatures boss tier in this mod. So that's pretty cool that they're giving us a choice to actually tame origins and nightmare. That's pretty nice. I like that idea. And then we're gonna go to the boss tier. So we got tier 1, which is origin bosses, or actually no, Help Guide, Loot Bosses. So these are the loot bosses. So these are tier 1 bosses. You will find these throughout the map. Just like Primal Fear, they will drop loot, good loot, and stuff. I believe too, if you get them down to a certain amount of health too, they'll go up to the chain and stuff. Um, but yeah. Then we have tier 2 bosses, which is the guardians themselves. So we have the volcanic, the hydro, and the electric, which these are the guys you're going to want to kill to get your hands on the fruit. And then we have tier 3 bosses, which are primals, which will spawn throughout the map, just like in Primal Fear. So yeah, just different ones of these guys, and they're pretty tough too. And then we have tier 4 bosses, which will be your artifacto bosses, which will spawn throughout the map. These guys will give you artifacts. Tier 5, which is your origins. Looks like we have a Trek, a UT, a Wyvern, Spino, Carno, Dire Bear, Kairuku, Raptor, Rex, Dodo Reaper, which is new, and Archie. All these guys, I believe, are on Primal Fear, except the Dodo Reaper is the only one that is literally the only one that's new out of all these guys. So yeah, there you go. That was tier 5. Yeah. Next is tier are we on? Tier 6. And then we have demonic and angelic bosses, of course. Tier 7, which is the Dracon, the origin bo- upper boss, which I'm betting is a more powerful origin, and I think it might be something. This is pretty new though, but it's something that you can fight, and I believe will give you more souls or tokens from the origins. Tier 8, which is Spirit and Chaos, which it looks like you need a lot of stuff to. Yeah, a lot of stuff to get these guys. Wow, that's a lot of stuff. Yeah, it's gonna be a grind. That was tier 8, right? Yeah, that was tier 8. So we're on tier 9. Tier 9 is the Metro Titans, which hasn't really, so far as I know of, hasn't been imprinted into the game. I did try spawning one in, and his textures aren't really there. So I think they're still being developed as we speak. So it's going to take some time for those guys to come into the mod, but can't wait to see that. Tier 9, right? Yeah. And then we have tier 10, which is the help guide. Which is the help guide? This is the primal resurrected, which is like skeleton types of bosses that will spawn out throughout the map as well. Which once you kill them, you actually will gain um, the rockets, and also I believe unlock the rocket launcher, which is the demonic rocket launcher and stuff. So yeah. Then we have tier 11, which is the nightmare tier. We have Dire Bear, right? Is that Dire Bear? Yeah, Dire Bear, RG, Kairuku, UT, Raptor, Rex, Spino, Spike, Trike, Wyvern, Dodo Rex, or I mean Dodo Wyvern, and not Dodo Wyvern. Oh my gosh, Dodo Reaper and Carno. And then last but not least is tier 12, which is the Death Knight, which is the big old Dino Pythias. So yeah, and that is it with the bosses and everything in here. So let's go ahead and look at the creatures. Actually, no, first let's look at the armor. I mean, the weapons and stuff. So, well, here's what the mythical pike looks. Then here's the hatchet. Then the sickle, and then the pike. And then we got the armor as well. We get the leggings, the boots, the chest piece, the gauntlets, and of course the helmet. Yeah, there you go. And I believe total extended hub. So each one will give you something different. Extra food, water. So you would gain extra food and water. The problem is I don't know if they fixed it or not. Every time you do log in, you're gonna be very hungry and stuff. So yeah. Then we have extra stamina, reduced fall damage, extra weight, and extra crafting speed, which is all pretty nice. Which is the boost of the armor set, which I guess it's very nice. That is a really nice idea for the armor sets to really have. Interesting. Why are you over there for? Huh. Okay. So we got the first creature of the roster. We have Toxic Dodo, which, well, not bad. Its health as a level 1, which again I'll spawn all these guys in as a level 1, um, has about 121,000.9 or 121.9 health, which is not very bad, but it's not the strongest creature. Um, there's tons of creatures in this tier, so yeah. Of course, you got Unit Bite, and that's it. Basically, this is gonna be like your egg-ling type of creatures here. Toxic dodos. And of course, there's alpha dodos, but try spawning, one creature of each tier. So, yeah. Next is your alpha tier. Actually, no, wait. Thank you for rushing yourself. Next is we're going to take a look at the stats. So we already said about the health. The stamina is about 300. Oxygen is 150. Food is 517.5. Stamina, I mean, not stamina, weight is 1,200. Melee damage is 974.1. And movement speed is 300. So not bad overall. Next is the Alpha tier, which is Alpha Sabertooth we got here, which, there's a lot of different alphas within the mod. But he looks like he has about 1,300 as a level 1. His stats, we got about 1,000 in stamina, 150 in oxygen, 1,380 into food, 1,200 in weight, 477.4 into melee, and 132 into movement speed. And this guy only gets a melee. And of course, he can jump. And I believe that's it. Yeah, that's it. That's all there is. I mean, at these early tiers, you're not really going to get anything really too strong, but yeah. Next is the electric tier, which has about, well, this guy has about 7.0 thousand into health. He has about 4,000 into stamina, 2,000 into oxygen, 1,725 into food, 400 into weight, 477.4 into melee, and 130 into movement speed. Which, yeah, it's a Thyla, of course. You get that jump, and you get that. And that's it. But also, when these guys attacks, they will also stun the enemy. So they'll automatically stun them for a few seconds. But not bad. Next is the Hydro tier, which for this guy we have 4.4 thousand into health. And then we have about 3,250 into stamina, 2,250 into food, 3,250 into weight, 586.6 into melee, and 120 into movement speed. And of course we get a bite, nothing there, a taunt, and of course a jump. And like the electric tier can stun the enemies. These guys will actually put effect on you, where your dino or your character, wherever it hit, whoever it hits will start drowning. So be very very careful. Next is this guy, which I'm not sure why he's over there for, but yeah, for some reason you want to be over there with the shadow tier. But volcanic tier, which for this guy we have 3.3 thousand into health, which is not bad. Then we have about 2,500 in stamina, 150 into oxygen, 1,840 into food, 280 into weight, 586.6 into melee, and 136.5 into movement speed. And of course we get a bite and a flame breath, which, it's a volcanic tier, so it's gonna, set you on fire. Of course, because this is a flyer, and because of the type of Jera, you can fly upwards and all of that other cool, awesome stuff like that. So, yeah. Next, we have the Shadow tier, which this is the Shadow Arthropora. We have about 15,000 into health. Wow. I mean, it's, of course, much more. It's the Advance and Metro. We already said about the health tank. So we got 7,500 in stamina, 1,200 into food, 5,000 into weight, 586.6 into melee, and 120 into movement speed. And this thing has a bite. That's a little attack right there, which it has, as you can see, it's showing a little bit of it. I don't know if I can make it right there. Okay, I don't think it did any damage to the other guys, but yeah. And I think that's it. Yep, that's it for that guy. Then we have the Fury tier, which for this guy, we have about 8.2 thousand into health. The rest of his stats, which because his Equus, it does act like a Meta Imposta. But we have about 1,900. Actually, no, that's 19,040 into stamina, 300 in oxygen, 3,000 into food, 11,900 into weight, 586.6 into melee, and 120 into movement speed. And because this is oh my gosh, unicorn, it can fly. Of course, it has a bite, a kick, a taunt, and another thing that this guy that can't really show you right now is that if they hit any fury creature hits its target, it will get a it's like the, oh my gosh, what is those things called? The blood wyvern gets on with crystal owls, where if they hit something, they'll start draining their health, and I believe you start gaining health back. I could be wrong about that. Please correct me if I am wrong about that. Next is the Omega tier, which is, of course, Omega Spinal Raptor. We have 601.9 to health. For stamina, we have 450. Oxygen, 150. Food is 1,200. Weight is 1,200. Melee is 586.6. And movement speed is 120. And because there's no saddle for it, so it's going to take a vanilla saddle. I'm not sure if they're going to be spawning throughout the world, but yeah. Of course, we got a normal attack, the jump ability, or yeah. Oh yeah, that's the jump, and this is the pounce ability, and that's it for Omega. And then the next tier is the Fable. We got, if you're turned on, we have about 4.7 thousand into health. And then we have about 3,750 into stamina, 150 into oxygen, 1,380 into food, 3,000 into weight, 702.9 into melee, 135 into movement speed. And because it's a turned on, you can fly and stuff, of course a bite, and that's it. No special abilities. Yeah, Fable. Next is your mythical tier. This guy has about 21.8 thousand into health, about 7,500 into stamina, 150 into oxygen, 3,000 into food, 9,125 into weight, 586.6 into melee, and 100 into movement speed. And which, of course, you get claw attack, that little ability, which is to get the fiber stuff, and of course, a bite. And that is it. Yeah, pretty nice. And next is the legendary tier. Oh, oh, ho, ho. I don't know why I said that. But this guy has about 18.8 thousand in the house. And this is a big boy. Ooh. So we got about 7,250 into stamina, 150 into oxygen, 3,000 food, 9,500 into weight, 586.6 into melee, and 100 into movement speed. And of course, this guy gets a bite. Nothing for that attack. Nothing for that attack. And of course, we get to war. And as you can see in the middle of the screen too, this guy gets a buff. Now, more creatures you kill, I believe, more stronger these guys will get too. So, if you're using these guys, yes, a lot more kills means more powerful these guys will get in the long term. But be very careful with the Indominus Rex because it's like the Giga. If you take too much damage with it, it will turn around and kill you as a rider. So be very, very careful of fighting some of the bosses with this guy. But these guys are really good as well. I can say, out of the other tiers below it, it has to be maybe my. Well, before you would even get into those, the last two tier, well, not two, 4 tiers, this guy would be part of your major boss fighter. Well, legendary in general. Not the Indominus, but if you find any other legendaries, yeah. But next is the demonic tier. We have 295.5 thousand health. And of course, we got 10,500 into stamina, 150 into oxygen, 1,380 into food, 12,500 into weight, 477.4 into melee, and 130 into movement speed. And of course, we get a normal bite, we get tail wipe, strike, which there's a decent cooldown. As you can see, boom! And then of course we can power up too, which powering up will also drain your stamina. But I think I could be wrong about this mod. But if you power up, you will be immune to like you will get something called rider protection. I believe you might get that. So yeah, which is very nice for demonic and angelic tier. But I believe that's all the attacks this guy has. Yeah. But hang on, let's see. Extend hub, power up. So only power up. So I don't see no. But that will drain your stamina very, very fast. As you can see, it's already drained his stamina down pretty low. Next is the angelic tier. We have 295.5 thousand in health. Then we have about 10,500 into stamina, 150 into oxygen, 1,380 into food, 12,500 into weight, 477.4 into melee, and 130 into movement speed. And of course you get bite. And I'm not sure about the other attack. I can't really bring the other attack up, but this guy will also get that power up too, which again drains stamina. You become faster too, so. But I'm not sure how to use. I don't know if it has like a special ability like the Demog does, but yeah, that's pretty cool. I mean, I probably should have spawned something else in, but it is what it is, I guess. Next is your Spirit Guardians, or your Spirit tier. For this guy, we have 755.5 thousand into health. Then we have about 40,500 into stamina, 1,000 into oxygen, 1,200 into food, 32,500 into weight, about 586.6 into melee, and 120 into movement speed. This guy does get a saddle. Oops, my bad. But some reason it won't go on his costume slot, which that's where the saddle goes. I'm not sure if this guy's a little bit, you know, busted with that, but you can still ride them without the saddle. Just the saddle, just adds armor to them. But of course, you get a bite, and we get a frame attack, and then what is that? Like what a spirit creature would normally do. Very powerful, very deadly. And last but not least is the Chaos tier. White flames everywhere. But this guy has about 865.5 into health, which is, wow, a good bit. Just think about finding these guys out in the wild. But we have about 40,500 into stamina, 1,000 into oxygen, 1,200 into food, 32,500 into weight, 586.6 into melee, and 120 into movement speed. Of course, we get a normal fight, we get a war. Nothing there, nothing there. And we get this attack. But how many times can we launch it? Can we aim it on the ground? Oh, there we go. So that you guys can see what that attack does. I mean, we could have actually done this. Alright, let's try to get you at the tree. See? Boom! Shakalaka. So, yeah. I mean, majority of these tiers, like the Chaos, the Spirit, Demonic, let's see, Fable, Omega, and Toxic, and Alpha, and of course Electric is all in Primal Fear. Hydro is kind of a little bit new for Primal Chaos. Volcanic is basically your fire, which would be fire in Primal Fear. Shadow's new. Fury is new. Mythical is new, and Legendary is also new, along with Angelic is also new. So basically all those creatures are new for this mod, but I gotta say, it's pretty cool. And this mod is also cross-play, so you could actually play this mod, not just on PC, but also console. So if you're a console player and you're looking for something that gets that little bit of a vibe, and maybe let's say you're a console player, you watch other YouTubers play modded series, and seen Primal Fear. Maybe like you've seen Mr. Mioa or King Daddy D-Mac or Riot or a bunch of other bigger YouTubers that has played ARK Survival Evolve with Primal Fear, and you say, I want to play that mod someday. Well, the closest you're going to get to that mod is Primal Chaos. Again, it's cross-play, so you can play it for either PC, console, like either one. Um, it's a very awesome mod, and I gotta say, it's worth picking up if you're looking for something that gives you that. I don't know. What's the word I'm looking for? Excitement. You want something new. You want something that's not directly just simply go out there to tame something with berries or stuff like that. And creatures that has powers. Do keep in mind though, this is gonna be a mod that's gonna be pretty strong and well yeah, hard to take on. So do keep that as a pinch of salt. Sorry for that, boys and girls. But like I said, take that with a pinch of salt, dude, because this mod does come with like very powerful bosses. Bosses that you're going to need a lot of health and a lot of damage to take out. So yeah, just keep that as a note. But maybe someday in the future we'll come back to this mod and play. I already did somewhat a small playthrough series of this mod, but didn't really get to finish it sadly. Yeah. But maybe someday we'll get back to into maybe doing a full playthrough of this mod. I can't wait. um, but yeah, that is Primal Chaos, and I'd like to know what you guys think about it. Are you going to pick it up? Are you not going to pick it up? Or are you a mixed feeling for this mod? And what do you think about it? What do you think about Primal Chaos? Or you think it's going to be the next big thing? Well, it is a very big thing for Ark Survival Ascended, or at least one of the few mods as a big mod for Ark Survival Ascended. But don't tell anyone else about that, alright? But still, I like to know what you guys think about this mod. Do you like it? Do you hate it? What are your mixed feelings about this mod? Please let me know down below in the comments. But that's gonna be it for this video there, guys. I hope you guys really did enjoy it. If you guys did, please leave a like on the video, subscribe to the YouTube channel if you guys want to, and like always, I'll catch you guys on the next one. Bye for now.